Good morning, YouTube and Instagram. I got you guys on all at the same time. We are chatting about stress and anxiety related to the social isolation, the quarantining, and really all of us dealing with the coronavirus and this global pandemic. So I'm going to dig into a lot of steps, tips, resources. We're going to dig into some botanicals and naturopathic remedies that can help you manage these stressful, anxiety-ridden times. Because this is our 9 a.m. news show, I'm going to share with you a whole bunch of news, some details that I think will be impactful for all of us. And I got started a little bit late today because we just got all of our Amazon packages. So that all just got dropped off, and I'm really excited to join you all today. So thank you for tuning in. Welcome all of you. Comment down below. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, what states, what cities, what countries, because we do have an international community. And the big thing here that I've noticed as this is episode, I think, let's see, 4 or 5 of our natural health news show, a lot of you are dealing with the changes and just the abrupt change in our schedule, as are we. Like Brian's right now getting Gabriel tuned in on his school. So he starts school at 9 and we're all working from home, and things are evolving and changing every day, and how we cope and manage is going to equip us with tools and resources to help boost our immune system and keep our immune systems optimized so that we don't have any negative impact from all these changes. So hi, everybody. I see Grandma 63 and Tracy and Gloria. Welcome, everybody. It's so exciting to have you join me here today. So I want to dig into some news. Right now, we have a few things that I think are noteworthy to highlight. First of all, I'm going to highlight the amount of cases here that we see in the US. We are now up almost 1,900 cases. This was as of 8:30 this morning. We're at 6,536 cases. All 50 states now have reported cases. We do know testing was supposed to increase. We're supposed to be seeing 3,000 test kits being released. I've heard that there are different universities trying to make up their own testing kits because of such a delay, and the supply chain has melted down in getting the swabs and some of the reactive materials. So that's where we're at. We've seen New York continue to grow. We're at 1,362. New York, Washington still is in the 900s, 959. And we also have New Jersey at 264, Massachusetts 218. Georgia, I know we're on here with a lot of folks here in Georgia. We're at 145. We have still remained at 1 death. And Florida has bumped up. As I projected, they are at 190 and 5 deaths. And people down in Florida are not taking this seriously. They're all hanging out on the beach. They have a ton of spring breakers that they're acting completely in denial. And even though the beach is awesome, it's not a place for us to be gathering. So I'm drinking my bone broth this morning. And all right, so good morning, everybody. Okay, so I want to highlight some things that where we're at. There are some new studies that I want to mention, and that's actually what the impetus is for a lot of the clampdowns and the travel restrictions that we're seeing in certain cities and even statewide. So there was a study that came out at the end of the weekend, or at the end of the week last week. Over the weekend, it was analyzed and it started to be implemented by different governments, particularly England. This is all about disease modeling. So it's epidemiology and looking at trends in the modeling. Remember, I started our show a few days ago with talking about the factor. This is the rate of transmission. It was projected at a rate of 3 a few days ago. Now they're projecting that this is a rate of 5 to 10. So it'd be 1 to 5, 5 to 25, or 1 to 10, 10 to 100. 100 to, I mean, it's just insane. So what they have identified, this is the UK, the Imperial College of London said that if countries like the UK and the US were not going to take any type of preventative meditated action that in the Britons, well, in Britain, the English would be looking at 510,000 deaths. In the US, they were projecting 2.2 million deaths because of an inactivity of clamping down social gatherings and mobility of our individuals, our residents. So that study also recommended that the 14-day self-quarantine would reduce the mortality. This is all projections. It would reduce the mortality by a half. So it'd take the 510 projected in England and drive that down to, 262, and then the 2.1 million, it drive it down to 1.1 million here in the US. So that's why we're seeing a total change and shift in our governmental, the government processing and communication. It's also challenged by the fact that we don't have enough tests. We have a testing crisis. And then on the flip side, we're also seeing additional data that is not peer reviewed, that is also communicating that certain medications might be making this worse. And again, I'm going to give you factually and as clinically proven information as I can. I will share with you studies. In this case, there's a study that came out from the Lancet research, and it looked at there was the clinicians who are part of this research were hypothesizing the extent of the secondary conditions or underlying pre-existing conditions and the degree and the increased infection rate. Like, why are these individuals with heart disease and cancer and hypertension and diabetes, why were they potentially having an experience of a higher death rate? And the hypothesis was that most of these individuals were taking anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen and cortisone, and they were hypothesizing it could make it worse. Well, that has blown up in the last day, and there are doctors I saw somebody on Instagram highlighting that you should not take your ibuprofen. And there is definitely a risk. Ibuprofen could potentially increase your kidney injury, which could then put your kidneys in a state of imbalance and a weakened state, where if we're dealing with the state of the respiratory body, and this is a respiratory disease, I talk about the golden triangle: the heart, the kidneys, and the lungs. When the lungs get compromised, it puts more strain on the kidneys, and the kidneys are already damaged potentially from ibuprofen use or the NSAIDs. Then we're dealing with a potential risk factor. So I want to highlight that because you're probably going to hear more about that. Does that mean you should stay away from those anti-inflammatories? Perhaps. I mean, I don't think it's conclusive, but it's definitely, it drives me. And like, I sent out an email to all of my community and my email list. And if you are not on my email list, there's a link down below in YouTube. I have a free antiviral checklist, so that'll get you into my email list. But I mentioned that there's a homeopathic that is extremely powerful at reducing fevers, and it's called belladonna. And belladonna is very beneficial. And actually, while I'm talking about this, I'm going to try and grab that link and get it to you, at least on here on YouTube. Belladonna. So belladonna is a good alternative, and we can use herbals, and we can use botanicals, and we can even use, in this case, this is a homeopathic. That could be a good alternative to actually limit your potential risk. So if you are on an anti-inflammatory, or I know a lot of people are getting cortisone shots. So it definitely is something that I wanted to put that out there. Now, here's the other thing that's interesting. Italy we're seeing Italy's the worst hit. They have had beyond the level of healthcare capacity that they can meet. And there are now measures. They've identified one individual who is probably the biggest he's the biggest contributor to this illness. There was a gentleman in Italy that he's actually facing charges, potentially 12 years in prison, because this guy hid his symptoms. He was diagnosed with COVID-19. He pushed and pushed and got on the schedule to receive a nose job, a rhinoplasty. in that whole rhinoplasty, because he hid the fact that he had the COVID-19 symptoms, he infected multiple doctors and nurses. Okay, so then they impact more patients. He also then convalesced in a resort and impacted hundreds of tourists. And that is a super, there's a term for it, but it basically, he is the guy who just made it blow up. It was like a fireball of exposure. That is a serious case. He could potentially, more than likely, he's going to be deemed negligent. Because of him, 31,000 cases came from one individual. So his lack of sharing his symptoms and notifying the nose job doctors, nurses, everybody who worked with him, over 31,000 cases are related to him specifically, and 2,500 deaths. That's huge. So we are seeing that. The U.S. has the first of its case where a Kentucky gentleman left a hospital, was advised to be in quarantine, and he has been neglecting that. The health department got a court order yesterday, and he is being ordered to quarantine. So if you know any individuals who are not taking this seriously, this is definitely something that I think we're going to see more of, because there's a lot of people who think this is just some media hype, and it's not. And it's very sad. It's totally sad. Okay, so here's the other thing. We have discussions here in the US. So if you are a US citizen, there's a potential that we will get a little stimulus to our pocketbooks. We might be seeing $1,000 check come our way. I don't know if taxes are going to be taken out. I haven't gotten that far, but I know that might be happening. There are different states are now opening up unemployment lines, and so you can call and might be able to get access to money for unemployment. So this is why we pay for all of these things, so that we can have access to that when we need them. And this, for many people, is a state where we need to start accessing financial funds to help us with our everyday needs. Okay, so the other thing I want to highlight is Kansas. There's more and more school closings. As of last night, there are 37 states. I think we've added a few more where schools are fully closed. Some schools are closed for a few weeks. Some schools are closed until the end of March. And other schools like Kansas closed school for the rest of the year. And this is causing a lot of stress and anxiety for parents. And that's why today's topic is going to be about how to deal with stress and anxiety, how to enhance your sleep, and to balance all of these stressful aspects. So first of all, for everybody joining, welcome everybody. Please give me a thumbs up on this. For on YouTube, please share this. This helps the algorithm. For some reason, YouTube is censoring all of the COVID-19 coronavirus content. It's very frustrating because now that I'm working from home and highly limited with my schedule, my income comes from the AdSense, the ad revenue, and some other things that I do. But this is very, very helpful if you share, like, and comment, because that helps me. Okay, so, and Super Chat is on too for all of you on YouTube. Let's see. I have so many notes. We have a lot of states that are being restrictive. In restaurants like New Jersey, they're restricting travel. People are not able to travel from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. We're also seeing that in Louisiana. West Virginia, by the way, came on board. They have one case. I have a friend from West Virginia, and we were joking, like, do you guys drink Teflon in the water? That was what Brian and I were talking about. Colorado, we're seeing that they're now allowing people in public settings, if they are out and about, that there are going to only be 5 gathered in public, and then, so 5 people on premise, and then they have to be 6 feet away. So we're starting to see greater clampdown and restrictive exposure from a distance because of that study I mentioned yesterday and the day before about us having, again, non-peer reviewed, but definitely substantial data that we're seeing that the respiratory particles can live in the air for 3 hours. So just think about that. Like, we were outside yesterday with Gabriel. We had I've seen more neighbors outside than ever. Everybody's walking. We're at the end of a cul-de-sac, and everybody, they kind of see us out and they kind of do a quick little loop and then they keep going. We had some guys try and sell something. They tried to jump out of the car and we're like, whoa, stay in your car. Because we're in this like 3 to 6 foot space now. That's like our personal space. And you just want to think about this. Like if you are out and about traveling and working, because we do have a lot of you who are engaging with the public, if you can really limit 3 to 6 feet from your peers, and even travel, even think about like parking your car. If somebody sneezes and they're not there anymore, but the air particles are, I mean, it's just crazy things. We just have to really start to be cognizant of stuff that we can't see, but the likelihood that there's possibility or potential. So I put that out there because I really want everybody to be equipped with the tools to be able to make good, healthy choices. This is very exciting. I'm very happy to hear we have a lot of stores that are open still. Now that may change, but there are a lot of stores that are offering senior hours. So, elderly seniors, I don't know what the cutoff, if it's 55 or 60. I mean, 55, 60, really, I don't consider a senior, but the reality in that age group, there are folks that might have these pre-existing conditions. They also are allowing for folks with disabilities and folks that fall into the category. I've even seen one where they're allowing pregnant women to be lumped in that category. But the senior shopping hours, their stores are looking at an hour before they open, allowing these seniors to come in. More than likely, we might see a quantity kind of restricted as well. But we're seeing Safeway, Target, Whole Foods, Dollar General, Fairway, Food Town, Mother's Market, Gelson's, Schnucks, I think is the name of it, Sedano's, Stop and Shop, Vallarta. Those are all stores. So if you are falling in this category, if you've been nervous to go out, this might be a way for you to additionally limit your engagement. So just FYI. But again, like what we're doing is we are doing our Instacart. So we have online shopping as well. We've got deliveries coming from Amazon. Amazon is their fulfillment by Amazon. They are stocking only the necessities. And so food, pantry items, things, health and wellness stuff that will keep us healthy. So they're increasing their supply. So we're going to start to see that supply chain further engage. FYI to all of you who are Aldi lovers, I did my Aldi haul. Last week I posted on the YouTube channel on Monday. On Wednesdays, Aldi restocks. And because two big things, because most of us aren't in our cars traveling on the roads or the highways, and because the federal government is allowing truckers to ship products for beyond an 11-hour max. So they were only required, they can only be on the road for 11 hours. Now it's like they've opened it up. So these truckers are, and we have Anita yesterday who joined us. She's a trucker. She's out there getting us stuff we need along with her fellow truckers. We might be seeing some like Aldi. I had an Aldi delivery yesterday and I got bananas, I got kiwi, I got my fruit and vegetables, and then I got laundry detergent. For some reason, I feel like for me, I'm stressing about laundry detergent. So with dogs and animals, like I don't want to have dirty clothes. So that's just my craziness. But anyway, so the big thing is right now, last night I posted a video for all of our frontline workers. The big concern is that our healthcare workers, we're seeing a greater propensity and risk to them. We've had over a dozen healthcare providers come down and contract COVID-19. And so the lack of proper public safety equipment, their PPEs, the patient protocols where they should be fully masked, they should be fully limiting any type of respiratory particles. If somebody sneezes, we want that to hit plastic and a covering and not go into the mucous membrane. And unfortunately, that's been happening. And that's where we're seeing a lot of these professionals getting ill. And because of that, then we're down healthcare professionals. So it's important that we all be really cognizant of our whereabouts. Just stay hunkered down if you can. And I think that's really key. Okay, so I'm trying to see if there was anything else. Oh, some happy things. I want to try and highlight the happy stuff in all of this. So I've seen lots of awesome memes. Our animals are loving life. They're very excited. We're at home. Their humans are with them all the time. Love on your pets, love on your animals. Those are all good, happy endorphins that get released. I'm also starting to see like Coldplay gave a concert the other day on, I don't know if it was fully Coldplay or if it was Chris Martin, but regardless, there are free concerts now happening on Twitter. John Legend hosted something yesterday at 1. And so that's really exciting. There are some kids that are doing piano concerts. Museums are doing virtual tours. Our puppet center emailed out. They're doing free puppet shows. So the people are putting on the puppet show. They're filming it and then they're airing it. So that's really exciting because you can keep your children entertained. They're going to get some culture, this great learning aspect. And then it just gives us some variety and some dynamic newness to our day. Also, gyms are going digital. My gym closed yesterday, and I'm very grateful for her making that decision. She's a small business owner, new franchise owner. You know, she's been in business for over, I think we're looking at 8 months now. That's risky, but you know, this is the time we're in, and hopefully we will all support her and we'll get back to normal life. But the sooner we all take care, the sooner we get there. So let's talk about stress. So comment down below, #stressed out. Let me know if you're feeling the stress. So comment down below and give me a little heart, a little blue heart if you're feeling a lot of stress right now, because this is something that is unprecedented. It's really triggering our fight or flight response. This is triggering us in a lot of different ways. It's digging up PTSD that a lot of us are experiencing. It's causing, you know, there's school closures. I wrote down like all the stressors that I feel like I am experiencing. And I know all of us are experiencing. We have school closures, work closures. We have money stress. We have family closeness stress. We don't necessarily have that, but you know, like our schedules all changed. Fear and anxiety, fear of the unknown, fear of how long is this going to happen, anxiety, like, do I have enough? Are we okay? Anxiety and stress about our children. Are they okay? We have underlying conditions and we're stressed out about our exposure. And have we been exposed? And how long can we be hunkered down? And overwhelm of the unknown. And it triggers PTSD. It can trigger isolationism, feeling lonely, and then anger. It's like we go through grief, and this is a grief process. We are all grieving as we come to terms with potentially how long this might be impactful. So boredom's another issue, and access to supplies. Do we have adequate supplies? Do we have adequate info? So I'm seeing lots of blue hearts. This world is crazy. No stress here. Good for you. The only one, #single parent stress. Yes. I honestly am so grateful that we have Brian in our lives and he can help me upstairs with Gabriel while I can help you. And I know it's a lot of stress. Vida Tobias, I am a staff nurse at a hospital in Indy. I have been off of a couple of days, back tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Well, take some deep breathing exercises, self-care, love on yourself, relax. Cupcake paper, #stressed out. Gloria, blue heart. Sally Joe Siddle, #type 1 diabetes. Michelle, #all of the above. Yes, that's it. We've got Diana Young, 0418. My daughter's supposed to get married the 14th. I have a video on my new channel about that. We had to cancel our wedding this Friday. Cancel now, cancel early. You might be able to get a better makeup date. All right. So senior, your daughter's a senior, so much disappointment. Oh my gosh, I know. #stressed out. Breast cancer survivor with lymphedema. Worried because you're pregnant. Totally get it. Lots of worries. And this it triggers our adrenal glands. So what I want to do today, got lots of friends messaging me this morning. What I want to do is I want to highlight, what do we do when we've got this fight or flight system enhanced? And this is the adrenal glands that are being triggered, but they're also going to trigger the other glands. Our thyroid particularly is the next gland that gets impacted. Then females, we start to see our reproductive systems, our ovaries and our uteruses impacted. So the key is dealing with, coping with, and managing the stress. And so part one of our chat, the squirrel's back. I wish I could turn this around. I have a big feeder in front of a tree. We have this beautiful maple tree. And this squirrel, I swear, at this time, he comes and hijacks no wonder. I've been wondering why so many birds have been eating. This squirrel is like going to town over there. Okay. So sorry, guys. That's one of my hobbies. I love feeding the birds and watching them. I'm annoyed when the squirrels come and take all their loot. Okay. So stress and anxiety is really what we have to target and what we have to deal with. This is the first part. The second part we're going to address is sleep, because naturally sleep's the best way for us to manage and support our adrenal glands. And comment down below and let me know, do you feel like the stress and the hashtag all of the above and all of the conditions we're dealing with, do you feel like that's starting to impact your sleep? Because I'm going to get to a lot of that here. So I'll tie all that in. Okay. So first, I've written down 7 steps to managing and lowering stress. Okay. And I'm going to try and get this out on a PDF, but that kind of remains to be seen with our schedule. If it's nice out today, we are going to a park with our animals. But I'll do my best. So just write these down. Number 1, the first and most important way to decrease stress in this state. So in this current state where we're hunkering down, we're in quarantine, we're in isolation, is control and structure. So we have to regain this there's 2 parts of this. So what helps us as humans is to have structure and control. It helps us feel like we're in control of our world, because a lot of it's swirling out there. We just can't predict. It's the unknown. We can't see all those things that stir up fear. The antithesis, the opposite, the way to flip it is to begin to get control over life inside your home. Start to get control over your breathing, and then also begin to develop structure, a new routine. And if anything, keep your existing routine. Maybe it's bump back. Maybe you're not waking up at 5:30, 6:30. Maybe you are able to get a little bit more sleep, which, hallelujah, commute time, take advantage of that and sleep. But then go back to your normal routine. So start to get a normal routine. I've been seeing moms I know start to plot out. They're like writing down like their schedules. And they literally are like, okay, wake up 7 to 7:30, rise and shine, shower, breakfast. And that, even though you might be a single parent, a single person, no kids, regardless of your situation, you can start to do that. And even writing it down and posting it, there's a very strong sense of control that gives. Okay. So here are some things that we can help with our control and structure and regaining this identity, this sense. He totally, I have to tell you, the squirrel obliterated my seed supply today. A little bum. Okay. So here are the things you can do. Keep your routines. Keep your gym, your fitness routine active. Maybe it's rescheduling it, but if you used to work out in the morning, get up and have a workout corner. So starting to identify corners or zones in your homes will be helpful for you continuing your routine and just adding that into the mix. The sleep aspect, keep your sleep on target. I'm going to offer you a whole bunch of recommendations to enhance that, but you definitely want to still go to bed at the same time, if not maybe a little earlier, to keep those routines down. Also, get into nature. Nature is very soothing. There's a lot to nature, even in the morning time. Morning walks are great. The dew on certain plants and trees actually is very calming to our emotional state. Animals, get into start to develop a new routine with your animals, like walking your dog maybe at lunchtime. This is going to be helpful. You're going to get out and about. You're taking care of something else. Get your mind off of that. And also in that routine, start to schedule the social interactions, your connection with friends, connection with family. Use video, use technology in that way to be connected and stay connected. Also, keep up with your healthy diet. If anything, the key is to eat clean, eat healthy, eat as nutritious as you can. Now, this might be somewhat of a challenge based on what you can get access to, but just know, even though the weekend was mass, chaos at grocery stores, there are going to be lulls, and the grocery stores are there. It's not like they don't have supplies. They are equipping and they're ordering more, and we're going to see that. So you can get those items. Choose things, the healthy items that you can stock up on, that you can freeze. Freezers are going to be good. We are investing in a deep freeze. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and now I can do it because Brian's like, okay. And that's what I'm stocking up on, are just lots of frozen vegetables, frozen fruit, items that we love and consume all the time. And that's also the other thing in terms of the routine. I'm going to probably put out a video at some point, like things to do in your home. Like I started to clean out. We're operating on half my cabinets because of our kitchen redo and overhaul. But one of the things that I started to do is this one cabinet was kind of Gabriel's food cabinet. I just went through anything that was old, outdated. I needed to get inventory of what I have. And then I started to build him snack pails. I have a snack pail upstairs because we had that like afternoon meltdown, and I realized we missed his routine of a snack time at school. So these are like little things that you can implement for yourself, for your family. That's really key. I see one arrow away. Yay, you're becoming a part of our routine. Thank you. So great. I'm honored. So the routine is key. Social connection, absolutely essential. I messaged one of our neighbors. She's a friend of ours that lives right behind us. And I was like, hey, do you want to do like a wine? And Brian's like, throw in whiskey, a wine and whiskey Wednesday at our fence. And we'll literally be 6 feet away and socializing. And it was just kind of this tongue in cheek, like we can still socialize across the fence and see our friends and still make connection. And this is something that we can definitely do. And we can also look out for our neighbors as well and connect up, like the social groups. Those are great connections. I know a lot of friends that run social groups on Facebook. They're going live a lot. I have friends that are going live. So we can definitely connect. Okay, so that's the control and structure. I'm going to look at some comments because I'm seeing a lot of good ideas here on this. Sheena says, I'm doing pretty good. I have my natural items I take and go outside and work on things. I need to clean around the house, listening to the radio and dancing around the house. I love it. Pat said, if you are quarantined and never have time to knit or crochet or read, or whatever your interests are, now's the time. Absolutely. Ayani Brown, I look forward to your video every day. Thank you. I love it. So more time for hobbies and passions. Absolutely. Tracy says, it worries me that younger people think they are immune. They're making a joke out of it all. They could definitely be spreading it to those. Absolutely. As a CMHC, getting your license, the Surya M, or Surya, I'm sorry, I'm totally butchering your name. It is being hard for me to control stress. I just stopped watching news. Yeah. So that leads me to my next thing. Number 2, literally on my list. Number 2 is to limit your exposure. So limit your exposure to the news, particularly about this situation. And even like the stock market's like a whole, like we can't control. There's a lot of stuff we can't control. Just you just gotta let it go. Sometimes we kind of have to be in a little bit of a mindful state in terms of our exposure and limiting it. And I recommend 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, early evening. Like definitely allow yourself a 2.5, 3 hour detox of that news that you might catch in the evening before you go to bed. Number 3, self-care. This is huge. And this is something that will make you feel better and can benefit you in a lot of different ways. Self-care could be from exercising. It could be from taking a nap. It could be from doing like facial self-care, body self-care, which by the way, I'll include a link. My friends over at Aaliyah, they're so awesome because of the self-care factor. They are offering 15% off in their store. So if you guys want the coupon code and a link, let me know because that's awesome. So I have like my self-care thing. I love masks. I love facial masks. So I've ordered up my charcoal mask. I do that like 2 or 3 times a week. Then I'll do my vitamin C mask. It's 20 minutes of nothing. Like I just sit there and I'm in a kind of transcendental meditative state. That's joyful and peace-filled. So self-care, I want you to think about what brings you joy and is peace-filling to you. Hobbies, like Pat had mentioned, those are all stress relievers. That's a huge factor that can minimize just the stress. So there's a lot of clinical research about self-care, TLC, planting a garden. That was a great recommendation yesterday from an individual who said, even if you don't have a backyard, you might have a patio and you can plant and nurture. You can buy seeds online. That's a good idea too, because we're coming into spring, summertime. Here's the wonderful part about planting a garden and maybe, planting some herbs, basil, growing ginger and garlic, and throwing out some, spinach and, lettuce. You can feed yourself on that. So in the event we do come into some crazy situation with supply chain, your garden you started nurturing today will feed you and nourish you, and it'll reduce your stress level because you have your own supply. So this could be the modern day victory garden. So number 5, I said, because I am in this, feeding the birds and squirrels. Parks are open, and we can get into nature. You can do bird watching. You can sit on a bench and feed pigeons, and just takes time, gets you out of the zone, gets you relaxed. Those are not bad ideas, even for the kids. It's entertaining to go to a, I used to take Gabriel to this one area back in Florida, and they had a lake, and we'd see turtles and we see the little tadpoles. And it's just a good way to get out and about and not feel so isolated. Next up, so 6th on my list of stress reducing activities, mindful meditation. And this is both self-care, but it's also stress relieving. Meditation has been proven to be the top #1 way of reducing your cortisol and reducing your stress level. And in the routine of things, that's one of the things that you can add in. I actually like to implement it if you can. My schedule is a little different in the mommy world, but morning and evening, 20 minutes can be very, very impactful. Number 4 was planting a garden, Anita. Okay, so mindful meditation, breathing exercises, yoga can be a part of that. That's also physical in some ways. Kundalini yoga, if you guys you're not familiar with it, I'll make some recommendations after for YouTube, but Kundalini is great for that. And also grounding, even going outside, bare feet, putting your feet in the grass, if it's comfortable, like it's finally nice here in Georgia. And then 7, my last and final for reducing stress is staying busy, watching movies, Netflix. We live in such a great world where digital allows us to get movies like, by the way, this is really key for any of you who aren't aware of this. If you are a Verizon user on your phone or any of your mobile devices, Verizon gave everybody, and you have access to it, Disney Plus for free. And so for any of you parents, Disney Plus is great for catching all sorts of movies. They have some great documentaries. I watched this one. I'm a huge documentary fan, but they have a good one about the whole history of Disney and like through the years, and just really fascinating. So movies, doing things around the house. I know a lot of people are, tending to the gardens. They're getting their spring housing stuff all set, spring cleaning. And that's actually what I did in that one cabinet yesterday. I felt really at peace. I filmed another video. I did my Trader Joe's haul that I did with Gabriel. This was more in like snack preparation for our trip, but now I've got all these snacks for him and his school routine. So those are key factors for you to lower stress. I want to talk to you about stuff you can take, because these are activities that you can have control over. Now let's talk about some botanicals. I've mentioned this a lot. I drink this a lot. The Stress Adapt Tea. This has 2 key adaptogens, Tulsi, which is called holy basil, and also rhodiola. I love rhodiola. Rhodiola is my favorite adaptogenic herb, studied immensely in Russia. This will lower stress levels. It'll help you adapt to mental and physical stressors. And this is a stressful state. A tea bag, these are what these look like. First of all, it smells, oh gosh, it smells fantastic. It smells like oranges. So this is the tea bag. This is a clean tea bag. The brand is the Republic of Tea. I have a link in the description box below. Let me know if you guys want that on Instagram. Just DM me and I'll send it to you. So that's one tea. I've been shipping out a lot of these. I have to cover this up, but this is my super botanical tea that is very powerful at reducing stress. It also will help balance sleep and will reduce fluid levels for all of my lymphatic patients. Ginger and turmeric will remove excess fluid like nobody's business. And then also this will help just calm the stress state. So this is fantastic. These little tea bags, this is my little box here. This is what the tea bags are. And I'll be drinking a tea after I finish my breakfast this morning. But this is a little tea bag. It's really orange. So it is turmeric and ginger at its finest with a 3-letter herb that I can't say on YouTube, but it's so fantastic. So I'm shipping all of these out. We actually have a multitude of blends. Like if you don't want the turmeric and ginger, they actually have chamomile, green tea. So I posted the link to all of those in the description. You guys can grab those. Now, cortisol lowering. This is what I want to talk about because there's a series of stuff that happens when we're stressed out. The first thing we do is we deplete our B vitamins. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I had a little bruise on my arm and leading up to the wedding and everything's just kind of halted. Like the wedding's gotten derailed, pushed out 13 months. So I got to keep up on all my stuff, but I was doing all this collagen boosting for like good skin, and I was doing B shots, and I also was doing my liposomal B. So this liposomal B is powerful at supporting the B's in your body. When we are under stress, we go through our water-soluble vitamins like that. B's are water-soluble vitamins, and we often will see the greatest deficiencies lead to autoimmunity. So fibromyalgia will see major decreases in B vitamins. We also see depleted energy stores. So liposomal B is really good. You can do 2 pumps under the tongue, really powerful at enhancing your energy level and reducing your stress level. That's a must. I do that in the morning. I do that sometimes midday, and I do that right before bed. Especially now that I'm not getting my shots 2 or 3 times a week. That's me keeping up on my B's with the kind of highly stressed state. Okay, next up, the B's that are not B's, but the cortisol approach that I take. I like to use compounds coupled with botanicals, and there are certain compounds and plant items, like the CP Calm is one of them. There are compounds in here that will help reduce and lower cortisol. And I have a whole assortment. I have one that I've recommended here on YouTube. It's called Adrenal, and it is so fantastic for reducing the cortisol impact. Cortisol also, there's a brand by Botanica. It has magnolia, it has ashwagandha. So there are a lot of different things that you can take that will help balance your cortisol levels. Dr. Wilson's is another brand that's awesome. We sell these in my full script store. Dr. Wilson has a series. They've got herbal botanicals. This has like all the nutrients. It has manganese, potassium, zinc, copper, magnesium, and I don't know if I said vitamin C. It has citrus bioflavonoids as well, like rose hips. This is great for keeping all of those micronutrients up because a lot of times we'll see depletion in the micronutrients and that further stresses our body. So for us ladies, particularly if we're still menstruating or we're dealing with any type of menopausal imbalances, the existing stress state we're experiencing now will impact us down the road if we don't take measures to balance our adrenal glands. So that's what I wanted to kind of impart today. The other thing that ties into stress reduction, and it goes along with sleep, is Kava Tea. So Kava is an herb that is extremely powerful. And I'm still shocked that it's not outlawed here in the US. We actually, I've had, Kava is a South American root, and when you take it in a really high potent form, like there was a Kava Tea vendor I've been to before. The one thing that is impactful is it can literally like cause your tongue to, let's see, we got all sorts of crazy people on here. It causes my tongue to get a little numb, but Kava balances out your stress. It just calms everything down. It like pops a bubble. I mentioned in last night's video, I did a whole thing for the frontliners. Okay, let me do a little, let me see. Lisa Briggs. Okay, I've had some weird people in here, all dumb people in the comments. Okay. Luckily, we seem to have, yeah, Lisa got spammed out. Lisa, I don't know why you're doing this, but I'm putting you in timeout, and then I'm going to block you. We are all respectful of each other, even if you don't necessarily agree. But at this point, this is not a situation that's up for debate. Clinical studies, epidemiology shows that this is a very serious virus. And so I'm not going to tolerate people who get on here and spread just misinformation. Okay, so going back to Kava. So we have Kava, and then the herbal botanical that I had mentioned. And I actually have this, is they sent us all these samples, but Good Day Chocolate now has a sleep one. They have a calm one. I actually incorporate this into Gabriel's life, but those are very impactful. So your liquid hemp oil is very beneficial. So that's what I'm kind of referencing here to all of you. So there are a lot of different things that you can do to take and support your adrenals. The most impactful at reducing that burden of stress is sleep. And one of the challenges is when it's this catch-22. When you're stressed, you can't sleep. When you can't sleep, you get more stress because it's a snowball. So I want to share with you a newer product that I found, and I've been in possession of this for about, get YouTube, I'd say about 2 months now. And I was using this particularly when I was traveling, because for some reason I don't sleep well now when I travel and I'm outside of the home and in a hotel room. And some of the hotel rooms when I was teaching, the fans would go on and they'd wake me up. I hated it. So in the summertime of last year, the FDA pulled one of my favorite, it was not harmful, but they pulled it because it was so effective. There was this one ingredient that was just fantastic at getting people to sleep. So for all of my patients, they were very frustrated because they needed that sleep aid, and it was not a sleep aid that just would knock them out or have a hangover effect, but it was a natural way of balancing the neurotransmitters. I'm happy to report that REM sleep is my new find, and it's a gel pack. And it has a whole bunch of nutrients that are aimed at 4 parts of sleep. So the first part is like to help you fall asleep. So it has valerian, it has lemon balm, it has magnolia bark, which is the cortisol reducer. Hops calms the central nervous system. And then it has the jujube fruit, which is another kind of nerve tonic. Then the other thing it has magnesium, calcium, it has glycine and omega-3s. That actually helps regulate our body temperature so we're comfortable at night. So for my hot flashers, my hormonal, my andropause patients, or folks that just need like cooler sleep, or perimenopausal like Tracy, this is very powerful. So this not only is just for the stress state we're in, but just globally to help balance out stress and help you ease into sleep. It then has the third stage is getting you into this REM sleep. It has the neurotransmitters. It has amino acids like L-theanine, L-arginine. It has, I totally need readers. It has I want to say that's B. Yeah, it has B6. It has potassium. And then it has just a little hint, like 0.75 milligrams of melatonin, which I'm fine. Melatonin actually needs to be balanced. And so it's balanced out with 5-HTP, which for any of you that are in the anxiety, potentially cusp of like depression or depressive state, because anxiety can quickly, like those imbalances can be one and the same. And you can have both. 5-HTP is a precursor. It builds up our serotonin levels. So this time, we definitely want to support and optimize our serotonin levels. That's our happy outlook. Those are happy chemicals. So 5-HTP is fantastic. It has GABA, and then it has L-tryptophan. So L-tryptophan is that magic amino acid that we find in turkey meat that, after Thanksgiving, everybody's taking naps because they've gone full on indulgent on food like Templeton and Charlotte's Web. I always think about that, like Thanksgiving. But REM sleep, this has all of them in it. And so I have a link down below in the YouTube description box. They have a 10-day supply. I think you can buy you can experiment with 2, you can buy a 10-day supply, and then you can get the 30-day supply, and you can just have them on reorder. This is created by Dr. Pompa. He is a leading clinician in the world of stem cell and anti-aging. And he actually has several other products. Like I see one on my desk I can't reach, but it's called Healthy Cell, is the name of his company. And so the quality of this product, it's so wonderful. And this gel pack, like I just pop it off and squeeze it into my mouth and then like take a drink. You can mix this in water. And we've given Gabriel a little bit of this just to kind of help him with sleep. So it's really, really impactful. And I tell you what, there's a big difference of taking this and not taking this. I've noticed, and especially when I was traveling, it will get you into that state where you're resting well, you're sleeping well, you're waking up refreshed. And the reports from my patients who've been on it for 6-8 weeks now, they're sleeping fantastically and they feel great. Their bodies are rejuvenating. And that's, at the end of the day, naps are going to be really key to help support your adrenals, but sleep most importantly, like good, solid, not waking up in the middle of the sleep. The Wild and Free, what's the name of the one the FDA took off the shelves? It's called Cavanance. You can't even find it anywhere. Like they banned it. It's not on Amazon. It's not on any of our doctor shelves. It's gone. I'm very frustrated, but REM sleep is here to save the day. So do look at grabbing yourself some of these, because they will help restore your sleep, especially now that you're dealing with a lot of the stress. And it is definitely a period where I wrote down, like, our goal here in my communication to you and just every day is to balance not minimizing the situation, but also not overreacting. So this equilibrium between not minimizing and taking things seriously, but not overreacting and freaking out like apocalypse. It's this middle ground, this equilibrium. And honestly, I really feel like if we can get your adrenal glands balanced and get you sleeping, your mindset, you're not just like you think yourself into thoughts, but literally the biochemistry controlling, these are the trigger, the control factors in our brain that controls so much of our outlook. So I hope you do try that. So the other things for sleep that I do find impactful, and this actually is, I have this in our store. It's a clinic. It's a level 4 grade. You'll find it. It's listed as level 4 in my online store. There's a link down for all of you in YouTube. So this is it's a menthol-y cream. And it has the botanical that's very good for calming the body, but it also has really good chest congestion enhancing, like breaking up congestion, breathing better. I actually take a little of this cream and I just put it here along my neck where, we have carotid arteries. This will integrate and calm your body. So it will just integrate into the bloodstream and it relaxes the mind. But also, if any of us do have COVID-19 symptoms, which is going to be throat soreness, nasal congestion, and particularly lung bronchial congestion, this level 4 cream, this will be very impactful at helping us breathe better. So that's definitely something. I have a lot of these. I think I bought 2 or 3 cases about a month and a half ago. So I've got a lot of these in stock. I actually brought them here so I could ship them out to everybody. So those are linked down below. All right, so I see some comments. YR, my mother just passed away. I'm having trouble sleeping. Maybe I'll get some. I'll give it to my dad. I'm so sorry, YR. Our hearts and thoughts are with you and your family during this time. Kathy Shelton, Dr. Melissa just doesn't talk about the virus. She talks about all kinds of health issues. Thanks. Okay, so yes, Tracy, please be sure to like and share this video. I always appreciate that. Says Diane, you know, people can just simply Google how many people die each year from influenza and how many died. Well, here's the thing. This is so novel. It's not, you can't compare it right now. So Dan, that's not a valid argument. I'm just gonna, I don't know why I'm gonna put you in timeout. I'm gonna remove, I swear, the spammers that are out there, it's crazy. It's just crazy the amount of people that don't think this is real. It's like we have a community that have been brainwashed. Yanni, it's called level 4. Yes, it's called level 4. I don't have a picture on it. Oh gosh, now we're getting really nasty. Dan is totally a troll. I'm going to report Dan for hate speech. He's calling, I think he's addressing it to me. I can't tell. Okay, so sorry, Instagram. People are crazy over here on YouTube in terms of some commenting. We had to control that. Lots of trolls. I hope I gotta get I have to get a moderator to help me out with this. Okay, so, okay, we have Cyrilee 525. I'm watching you from my phone. How do I get where I can click? You know, right now, I don't have that capacity on Instagram, but if you DM me, I'll send you the YouTube link. And then in the YouTube description for all of you YouTubers watching, it's in there. Okay, so tomorrow, I haven't really decided what I want to chat about tomorrow. Other than I might talk about kids. I don't know how many of you have kids at home, but I know that's a big factor as more schools. I think we're going to be looking at probably by the end of the week, almost every state closing schools as this kind of ramps up with our numbers and the testing that we're getting out. So, you know, if you want me to talk a little bit about children, I definitely, you know, as a parent, that's definitely a category I can relate to. So let me know, comment down below. And yeah, the problem is that a lot of people are using denial to cope with the stress. I totally get it. Denial will kill people though in this state. And as we're seeing, like I mentioned and before, you know, there will be some prosecutions potentially. I mean, this idiot in Italy who, you know, elective nose job was like greater priority for him than the safety of these doctors and his community. It's just craziness. Oh, Tracy, thanks for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm seeing Instagram children. Yes. How to deal with the trigger thumb. Okay. All right. So Instagram, you guys are probably going to sign off here. I talk about issues. How about going out getting groceries? Anna, I would not get groceries. If you can just buy online and look at delivery services, that's what I would totally do. All right, seniors. Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to talk about kids and let's see, guess. I don't know, Victor. Let's see. I'm going to put somebody in timeout again. Okay. So Instagram, thanks for sharing, Elise, for sharing that. I appreciate it. So Instagram's going to be going away. I'm going to try and keep these chats at an hour. I know everybody's time is heavily limited. I got Victor out. So thanks for tuning in, friends. Tomorrow we'll talk about kids. We'll talk, let's see. I knew there's so much to talk about. There's just like so much. So comment down below for all of you on the replay. Comment down below for all of you watching live. If you could go back when this wraps up and comment on the actual video and give it a thumbs up, share it. I appreciate that. And I will read all your comments and we'll dig into you some specific topics we kind of pulled out, and we'll do a poll here on Instagram as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Stay safe, be well, don't stress. When in doubt, take a big deep breath, do 4 or 5 big deep breaths, and I'm going to challenge you. Today's challenge is to do something fun that nourishes and enriches you, your lives, and brings you joy. So right now, I'm going to go fill up our bird feeder because that little squirrel just hijacked the loop for our birds. And I hope all of you have a wonderful, beautiful day. Tune in tomorrow. I'm going to be shooting more video today to post on our YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. I will see you guys later, YouTube. Thanks again for tuning in. And again, please like and share. I'm grateful for your participation. Bye.